Morning. I'd like to show you how I built this rear-wheel drive system for this 4G63 turbo engine. This particular one was one that was blown up, so I just cut it in half. I use it in the mill and stuff, and that's why it's handy to be short like it is. A couple decisions I made. One decision was to put the pilot bearing inside the crankshaft instead of the flywheel. And the reason I decided to do that was I wanted to move the transmission as close as I could to the engine, and for the W58 transmission, it's the W55 to the W59 non-turbo Toyota transmissions are because I wanted the starter hole to be lined up correctly to where the two guide pins are in the back of the block. What I had to do was, because I put the pilot bearing in the crankshaft, I made the hole in the flywheel a little bit bigger. It has to be about 30 millimeters so that the input shaft of the transmission can fit through the center freely. If you guys I can't find somebody to do that for you, make sure and let me know. Send it to me. I'll be glad to do it for you and send it back to you. This is drilled out to accept the first gen 4G63 and also the second gen, because there's an extra bolt added. Then I added these two inserts at the base so that you can build in extra support if you so desire. Now, the way I built this in, I just use a stock Toyota pivot ball, and it goes right into place. It pays to be ambidextrous when you're old. It goes right into place. And then I use the standard Toyota clutch arm, pivot arm, and the Toyota throwout bearing right out of the donor transmission. It's all done. How the whole assembly is going to look when you get the transmission worked out. There's how you're going to look. Now, this is upside down. That's okay. You can't miss them. They're extremely long, and that's because I made these bosses extremely long. The idea being is that there's a crown on the inside of the bell housing about 1.5 inches back all the way around for the flywheel and the pressure plate to run through it. So I wanted to have the bolt extend past that crown because we only have 4 bolts holding this together, and I wanted plenty of material to secure the bell housing to the engine. One of the things you have to realize is that the 4G63 was made just for a front wheel attachment, and once you put the transmission on with the tail housing and a tail housing transmission mount, you put a lot of stress on the bell housing as a frame member that wasn't there before when it was just a front wheel drive. So, okay, there's the whole Toyota setup hooked up to the 4G63. These are the guide pins, and I can spin that just as nice as I ought to be able to. It's perfectly straight. Now, to test this clutch, I ought to be able to release the clutch and spin that input shaft just like it should be. Those things are all in place. Non-turbo Toyota Celica Supra slave cylinder. And the reason I did that was because it was the only one I found that had the bleeder in the right place so that I could position it on the driver's side instead of the passenger side. These do come with the push rod assemblies, but I have all the bolts. Everything I use, I supply these bolts with the bell housing so that you have the right bolts to the right length. My name is Bill Hincher. I'm in Toledo, Ohio. This is called Bill's Auto Fab. You can find these. Thanks.